Well, hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, and I'm here with Francisco Rubalcava Jr. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, no, sorry. Had to take a little week off.
That's okay. Things happen. People probably go, "What? He wasn't here?"
Right. No,
Uh,
it's
Go ahead.
no. Thank you for having me back on though.
No, I enjoy having you on. We talk about many different things that we both have in common, which is real estate. So it's important to talk. And I like you don't only help with the younger people, you help with the older people too. And I just meant age wise, not like anything big there. It's just there's not anybody you don't help. So it's nice to hear what investors are doing, what are first time home buyers doing, what are move up buyers doing, that kind of stuff. So before the thing, you were kind of talking a little bit about people are buying manufactured homes to flip.
Yes. Well, and it's even, and that's where I have that conversation with the investors that I do help, where, it depends. Profit margins aren't as big, right? Because people will always factor that in, and there's going to be a little bit of a knockoff there. But a lot of these manufactured homes, as long as they're on these fixed foundations, they're selling close to exactly what a regular stick built home is selling for. So there
Correct.
is there are good returns there. But with those, I mean, I say, especially when you can get them under 200,000, right? And I mean, there's tons of different ways to go about it. Most of these, in these conditions, they need to be it's either like hard money or straight cash, but there is that flexibility there to still make some money. Or what I advise the investors that I help is rather than trying to buy it and make a quick flip, buy it, cheap, get it really cheap, fix it up and rent it. Because the rental market doesn't really you don't get much less rent because it's a manufactured home.
Not at all.
It's at the end of the day, the space is what's necessary for rentals.
Bedrooms and baths, right?
Exactly. And like, for example, that one, it was listed at, I want to say it was 199. And right now, even though they listed at that pretty low price, I think that they're even somewhere around like 170 ish.
Wow.
So,
well, it where's this where are we looking at? Just a general
like West
county?
Side Modesto.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Like in Modesto. So again, not the greatest of areas, but, as I coach, my client, it's rather than taking that approach of trying to find the quick flip for those types of properties where you can get it so cheap and you can fix it up, give it a little makeup and you put it on the rental market and you're getting, close to what, I mean, at that area, even being a 3.2, you're still going to be getting relatively close to like 1,800 or so.
Right.
So it's good to have those kinds of properties as they're building and, continue increasing the rent as you go.
It's better too is try to find them when they're not on a permanent foundation on property. Then you come in, you put a foundation underneath it, and then you fix it up and everything. Now you just increased it because before it's just personal, right? So people don't understand that whole thing.
No, I know that's a huge thing as well where, and again, I mean, it's not, this isn't like your novice that's going to be able to do these kinds of things, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, it does take an investor, it does take someone who has, a little bit more flexibility with how they can, play around with their funds, right?
Correct.
But there's huge possibilities. I mean, even for people that don't, exactly are that vested into it or like have a big portfolio. I mean, we all start somewhere, right? And at the end of the day, I mean, there's all kinds of different types of ways to approach these things. I mean, sometimes you might even get lucky and find someone who's doing seller financing, it just,
Oh yeah,
it takes time and you got to go through it. But even with doing, like, let's say you get into a hard money loan, right? The goal is
not hard money.
well, it's, and that's the thing is like, I do discourage it.
No, there's nothing wrong with hard money. Actually, hard money was 10%. And we're almost there. So
right. Well, not, and I don't want to backtrack a little bit. Like, not that I discourage it, but I'll say like, let's just try to see the different possibilities because again, I mean, it's just, it's a race almost, right? Like where when you get into a hard money loan, the goal is let's get this up to par so I can refi out of it. But that's the thing is, I mean, it's the method, like the bird method or whatever, you buy, renovate, rent, and then, sell off or whatever, but that's something that, a lot of people utilize those hard money loans for.
Well, they're easy to get. It doesn't take much.
Right.
There's no real, and a lot of times they do it where it's stated income. They don't even care about your income. They just, all I care about is I get my money back at this percentage by this time. That's all I care about.
Right. And for, a lot of people, it could be a little scary, but realistically, it's never that difficult, nor does it like end up being so expensive. Like a lot of the times people try these things out and, their first deal, they're at least breaking even and learning something, or, you're making money. I mean, at the way that, things have been appreciating, which, now I've been seeing some spots. I want to see like what you think on your end, right? Because we still see these rates higher. I was actually watching a video this morning before heading out over here talking about how it brought up the question of who is buying right now, right? Like who is buying during these times where the pricing is so high, and then now we're at these 8% rates. I am still helping quite a bit of people, like, and right now, I think the most popular too that continues going on is people downsizing. At the end of the day, there's always that need, and there's people that are getting older and don't exactly want to be in these big 3,000 2-story houses, right? And we still just keep seeing things move. And I mean, I've even had some people recently that I've been helping that are starting out, like there's
Right.
still first time home buyers out there
Oh,
in the
yeah.
market.
That's all I'm dealing with right now is first time home buyer.
Right.
I mean, I first time home buyer, and then I have somebody with it was a death in the family. They're buying out the siblings of this property, and they're doing that. So again, it's death, divorces, and job transfers that are putting these properties on the market. And some that and then you're saying downsizing. Well, if they're downsizing, maybe they're paying cash for the place with the cash they get out, right? Because they're not getting financing. Because I mean, you haven't been here in a week, but rates have went to a little over 8%. I quoted somebody 8.25 and 7.5 FHA as an example. I'm not talking cost, points, fees, but these were like Fannie, and what you could see the rates were pretty close. And because I keep hearing from Fannie Mae, they're 8.26 or something like that, and that's huge. That's a lot of people are going, what? We were here in, I think, 2008, 2009 in these rates. The difference were houses were half the price or less, because people were getting $125,000 homes and at 8%, it's not a big deal, but $500,000 homes at 8%, that's a hefty payment.
It's changed drastically. I think, and that's where like a question I've been having is, with the rates being where they are right now, and let's just say, I know a lot of people are waiting for that next like dream for all, right? To come out, potentially May or March or whatever.
Well, last one was in March. I assume it's going to be the same.
Right. But, the rates were also drastically different then. So like how?
Yeah, but it's free money.
Well, exactly. But what do you think this next surge is going to do? Because I feel like when it happened, right, we saw the market tighten up a bit again, for that time. And then
you're talking about, because we had 20 offers on a property they used to have 4 on, because they had 10 days to get their offer accepted before they ran out of money.
Right.
And so they're throwing money at it. They don't care. It's not their money. It's like a credit card.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is like that in turn, I feel like is almost going against the affordability part, right? Because it's like, it's causing this like imaginary inflation, right? Where, people are going to be coming in, offering more and everything like that. That's the thing that it makes me curious, to think about like what exactly will happen, when that does come.
I don't know. People, I mean, if you're talking the thing right now with the rates, I have a feeling we're going to get to 10%. Just because of where the economy is, and how the fact that no matter what, with unemployment not going up, and workers and employers keeping their workers, whether they need them or not, they still keep them because it's too hard to find them when they need to train them and get them ready. I get all that, but we can't run a business off of hope.
Yeah.
Right. That's the problem. And it's just difficult going forward to really say this is where we're going to be. This is when rates are going to go down, because we were told all this year by July, by October, by whatever, we're going to see rates down. That didn't happen. Supposedly going to have recession December, January. Don't know. Nothing has went the way that it was supposed to this year. But we have a governor who keeps spending. So as long as they keep spending, we're going to have a problem, and we have a kind of a problem. So I don't know if I answered your question, if there was a question there.
Yeah, well, and it, I think it exactly like what you're touching on, right, is the fact of, getting closer to that 10% is like I'm saying, like when all that money comes, yes, it's going to make it different for a lot of people, but who again, like
you're saying who can afford it with all that money coming, so again, you got to make 115 grand in order to find an average home in Modesto, like 400,000, right? Which used to be 60. You got that money, it's going to come in and help you. But if you're not making that amount of money, because putting down doesn't save you money, right? Putting down 20% saves you so much per month. Buying down rates saves you so much more. Right. 10 grand to buy down, to lower your purchase price. 10 grand doesn't do anything. Taking 10 grand to lower your interest rate could be $150 a month. Sorry, I'm yawning today. I guess I'm tired. I apologize. Talking too much.
No, you're good. I mean, well, and that's the thing too, is with that portion that we keep seeing of like people still purchasing and everything despite the changes, like right now is, especially with the first time buyers you're helping, I imagine you guys are getting a ton of credits, things like that, correct?
Not a ton, but one of the ones we were working on, they were going to lower the price 20 grand. We said, we'll take that for closing costs and buying the rate down.
And I think that's the best way to go about it.
That's what, all builders, in order to move their product, has been buying people's rates down to low sixes. Before it was in the high fives, but where we are now, it'd probably be 6 1/4, 6 3/8, because that's costing 20 grand.
Yeah.
No, but they're doing it to move the product, and they can set their own prices. So it's built in, and that's how they keep them moving. And they're going to continue to do that.
Yeah. I know, like, it was a while ago out in Oakdale, there were some new builds, and I mean, they were offering a ton of incentives. Like they're struggling, like the new builds right now. They actually have some new ones coming out in Riverbank that are going to be like high 400s, right? For like 3-bedroom, 2-bath, which isn't horrible pricing, but location and everything too. Like, people are, I don't know. I've been seeing like a lot of people flocking over to Riverbank right now because of, the Costco that's coming, or, a lot of people just see how Riverbank wants more housing there. Like we've been seeing it with the ones that are going to be built there, by the newer Costco. There's going to be some out over there by Claws. And I think if they keep building there, that, they're going to have more and more people gravitating towards it.
Of course. Well, you can't just kick somebody out of a house. So you got to build new. And the problem is there's still only a few hundred. We need thousands a year, thousands in this area. And we're not doing that. That's the problem. And it's going to be here for a while. And, but if you can get one right now, you have less competition.
Right.
But it's for people to understand that they're nervous. They're scared. Get it. They don't want to make a mistake. That's the biggest thing. They don't want to make a mistake. I had somebody call me last week, goes, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking now is a good time to buy because everybody else isn't. And I think I can get the price today and I can always refinance. Right. I was like, have you been listening to all my stuff?
Well, that's like the dream client, right? It's like, and that's the thing too, is like, really helping people understand that, because I do see a lot of opportunity here, because no matter what, and as we keep leading into it, and we're already expecting another one of those big stimulus, like surges of money, right? Like what it's going to keep pricing us up. I still believe that we will keep appreciating, even though the rates are going higher.
Oh, we're definitely gonna still keep appreciating. We have no inventory.
Yeah.
People, this is a totally different time. We've never been in a time where rates are so low people don't want to leave on their houses. We've never been there. Go back in history. We've never been there.
And that's the thing too, is at the end of the day, I mean, you look at a chart historically and it's always up, like there's the random fixes and the ups and downs, but for the, in the major scheme of things, it's always up.
It's a stair climb.
Right. Yeah. So
up and down. Oh, it still goes up. It just might go here.
Yeah.
Still going up. All right. Francisco, thanks for coming in today and kind of sharing what's going on out there, what you see. And I want to thank everybody else for watching and listening. And I want to say goodbye. And Francisco, say goodbye however you want to.
Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in. And please feel free, to always reach out. Any questions at 209-493-2400.
Yeah, you should really put that on the second line because it gets blocked off by the Real Estate Jerky. All right, everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for being here, Francisco.
Thank you.